Hello and welcome back on my YouTube channel. And today is the 8th of February, and I am again with you with another session of the Hindu newspaper. And in this video, we are going to read about the vaccination strategy and about the science and related to all about it. So the title is Dose of Science in the Vaccination Strategy, and the subheading is vaccination and booster dose plans must have context, the backdrop, and be informed by epidemiological evidence. So here he is talking about that while vaccination and after the third dose of booster, which are currently people are getting these three third dose. So now in the backdrop, in the backstory, in the background of it, it should be informed. There should be a logical evidence that why this third dose is necessary for the people. Now we will read all this, then we will try to understand. And so 6 weeks after the Indian government announced precaution shots, third dose, so there are now government has announced 6 weeks ago about the third dose of COVID vaccination, or it's saying it's a precaution shots for a selective population. Either it was the above 60 years old poor people, and otherwise all those people who are the front line health worker. There have been, so now since the last 6 weeks there have been four development. There are the four incidents which have been happened in this time. So first one is two COVID-19 vaccine have received. So during last 6 weeks, two vaccines have received conditional market authorization, like two new vaccines have been granted the permission to use emergency use. And also the second is that the phase 3 clinical trial has been started for the nasal COVID-19 candidate vaccine. Now there will be a new type of vaccine that will be given by nasal. The third phase trial is also going to start for this vaccine. And the third news is that Omicron wave has largely swept through the country, so lots of people are affecting from this Omicron wave, and it is surrounding the people around it. And the fourth news is that 5,000 crores has been allocated. 5,000 crore budget has been decided for this year COVID-19 vaccines in this year. So all these four things have been happened in the last 6 months during the COVID pandemic time. What do these new development mean for the COVID-19 vaccine and booster dose strategy? So by all, if we look at all these four uh, things that happened, new developments happened, these incidents happened. So what, why these are indicating about the vaccine, and what about the, what will be the India's booster dose strategy as well. Now India has done about 60 to 70% vaccination of its population. Do healthy adults need a booster, and when? So there are also question like there are lots of healthy adults. Is there any requirement to giving a booster shot to them, and when will they need a booster dose? Is the budgetary allocation for COVID-19 vaccines enough? So, or the allocation of 5,000 crore, is it enough for this or not? So now we will discuss all these questions here. So let's start from the market authorization. The first development which have been made. The news of market authorization of Covishield and Covis vaccine has generated a lot of interest. No, now when government has permitted that these vaccines, Covishield and Covis vaccine, will be available in the market, now it is a created, it has generated lots of people were interested in it, and they thought that it will be available for everyone, but it was not the way. Market authorization means what? That now hospitals will be able to buy directly. So many have threat from now on anyone who wish to can buy a COVID-19 vaccine. So as I have told you, lots of people thought that it will be available at on medical store and anyone can buy it and have it administered at their will or on doctor's prescription and can take it on their will or by if doctor prescribe it. That's what market authorization usually means for most medical product. So mostly whenever a product is marketly authorized in general sense, so it happened in the medical products case, but in the COVID vaccines case, it is not like that. However, these two COVID-19 vaccine have received not the full but a conditional market authorization. So here it is not a full market authorization. That's why they are not available on medical stores or dispensary or pharmacy. Therefore, for the general public, nothing has changed. So it is so for the general public, there nothing changed. They can't. Uh, they will have only have to go to out to the hospitals, medical centers, and the vaccination centers to get the vaccine jabs. Government will continue to regulate vaccine administration as earlier, but government will continue regulate all of this vaccination. The already eligible target group as per national. So those are the target group according to the national guidelines. So like from the adult or kids group, for the children there is a age group 15 to 18. So they will would continue to receive vaccination through authorized COVID-19 vaccination center. All those people who receive vaccine, the authorized COVID-19 vaccination center, which have been decided by government. So this change the conditional conditional authorization will only change the condition for the vaccine manufacturer from submitting safety and efficacy data to the National Drug Regulatory every fortnight. So now they will submit the safety and efficacy data to the National Drug Regulatory every fortnight, and they can now submit this data every 6 months. So now before they were submitting the data, efficacy data of how this vaccine is, how much this vaccine is able to counter the virus, control the virus over the fortnight, like in the 15 days. But now they will have to submit this data every 6 months only. So two times only in a year. Now the second news is about the nasal vaccine. So here we will read about the nasal vaccine. Even though in the clinical trial stage and none being authorized yet, nasal COVID-19 vaccine have always garnered a lot of interest for the variety of reasons. So in the however, even in though it is only in the clinical trial stage, so now there is this type of vaccine is only the trial phase, not for from it, and no one has been authorized yet for using this vaccine. But this type of COVID-19 vaccine have increased a lot of interest because and for increasing the interest in the nasal vaccine, there are lots of reasons also. Now, so we will read that those reasons. The first reason is that the ease of administration without a needle and syringe, because in the nasal vaccine there will not be need of a needle or syringe. So the, after this way there will be less biomedical waste. And in the second case, given that COVID-19 vaccine currently in use in India have limited evidence about their role in reducing transmission, nasal vaccines through muscle antibodies are likely to perform better in reducing transmission. So currently, those vaccines which are in use in India are not so much. Uh, they have only a limited number of evidence. They are only limited in reducing transmission. But in the case of nasal vaccine, because they will have go to muscular antibodies, so might be they will be perform better. They will reduce the transmission in the better than currently available vaccine. And the third reason for is for generating interest in nasal vaccine is this type of vaccine will be useful for children in whom the primary objective of COVID-19 vaccination is in reducing transmission rather than individual benefit. So now this type of nasal vaccine will also benefit because in the case of children, they are not much affected from this virus. They are only becoming the carrier of this virus. So when this vaccine will control the transmission of virus, and it will definitely give a as on other vaccines. And there are lots of benefits from this vaccine. Number four, the world needs more vaccine to ensure wider availability and address vaccine inequity. So lots of, and if the nasal vaccine will also get the permission that lots of apps option will be available, and the way there will be lots of companies will be able to manufacture it, and lots of availability in over all over the world. And the fifth is combination use of injectable and nasal vaccine might provide blended protection from severe disease and reduce the transmission. So, or the fact maybe if we apply the combination like injectable vaccine, like giving by the injection and syringe, and a nasal vaccine, if we will apply the combination, so it might create a better protection by a blended type of protection giving people. It will give a severe disease to and reduce the transmission. So such an approach could be useful in mitigating the impact of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic as well as in the control of outbreak in the post-pandemic period. So now if we will follow this type of approach in the use of nasal vaccine, so it might be will give the impact and will control the COVID-19 pandemic, restrict the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, and maybe after the post-pandemic period, also when the pandemic will over, people will have different type of post-pandemic fever symptoms, then it will also affect them. However, flip side of nasal vaccine and muscular immunity is that protection is usually short lasting. But there is also flip side of nasal vaccine. As the second fact is about that the nasal vaccine and muscular immunity is that protection that is very short lasting. You will have to give this type of vaccine in a very shorter time again and again. Now, epidemiological data and modeling estimates suggest that by the time the Omicron wave ends in any setting, 50 to 70% of the population could have been exposed. So now the data and modeling, which is estimating by the calculating the data that when the Omicron wave will end, then until that time 50 to 70% of population will be exposed to COVID vaccine. And so if we talk about the Omicron variant, so in the next 5 to 6 months, if we see, until the 50 to 70% of the population will be affected from this virus. A study from South Africa found that the Omicron exposure in an individual with a past infection or vaccination results in a 14-fold increase in antibodies, which offers protection from future Delta variant infection. Now, study has been conducted in South Africa. In that study, it has been found if a person which was already infected from COVID, and now this time it was already vaccinated, but now it is exposing to Omicron. After this, there in their body, the 14 times antibodies will increase, and by this type of antibodies, he will not in the future Delta variant, he will get the protection. It is very good study. The role of hybrid immunity acquired after natural infection in combination with two sorts of COVID-19 vaccines provide better protection than vaccine alone. So here it has been said that there is a hybrid immunity. So what is hybrid immunity? In the hybrid immunity is a person who is getting infected from the COVID-19 virus, and after that he took two sorts of vaccine. So now in their body there will be antibodies will produce, and this type of protection is much more stronger than if a person who is not affected but only for the COVID-19 vaccines alone. Omicron wave is sweeping through India. So now Omicron wave is spreading across India. country is at a stage which can be termed sandwich immunity. So now, when India is at that stage, we can see that it is a sandwich immunity. So what is mean of sandwich immunity? Sandwich uh, immunity is like a hybrid immunity which is supplemented by another layer of natural infection. So now people who got the vaccination already, now they are getting the another type of infection, and by this that the hybrid type of immunity has been built among people, and that's why there are layers of immunity, and we are terming this as sandwich immunity. And so we have read here until here, and in this video uh, I am reading till here because I have got some few words, so that's why I will have to stop recording from here. I will make another video, and in that video I will record from here. And I will also give the link in that video. Please subscribe my channel and wait for the next video.